evening and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast, the Champions Edition. Oh, mate. I'm good evening, my friend.
Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, everybody in the chat as well. No Stan tonight, no Anne-Marie, because she's been invited by Ruben Diaz for the after-match party, the jammy. So, yeah, no Anne-Marie either.
So
you've just got to put with Waldorf and Statler.
Exactly.
But, yeah. Oh, Paddy, though, I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely drained. I was just talking to Paddy before we came live. Mate of mine, Mike, who sits near us, it was a 2-0 to City, 1-0 to Everton, and he went, imagine if Everton scored now and then we concede 30 seconds later. Like,
you mean Arsenal scored?
That's what it meant. Just shows you I'm drained, mate. I am absolutely drained. So yeah. Hello, everybody in the chat. Where's Andy collecting his medal? Tell you what, mate, I deserve a medal putting up with these lot.
Very much.
So yeah, evening, Mario. I know something. I've not even been drinking, but I feel pissed. Absolutely buzzing and absolutely hammered. What a day! Let's go Blues. One more. Yeah. So. What was it like watching from home, Paddy? Because in the ground, when we was talking, was like, please just give us a couple of early goals. I can't be doing with all the drama of the last day and stuff like that. And lo and behold, Phil popped up with 2 great goals, by the way. And then there was when they scored their goal, there was an appeal wanted for a handball, but I couldn't see that from where I was.
No, it wasn't. I watched the replays on the TV. It wasn't. It didn't. It had his chest. I actually missed, because I was a nervous wreck. I was out in the kitchen pouring myself a pint of dilute, blackcurrant, and I missed Foden's goal. And I went, we can't have scored already. And I ran in. I spilled the drink all over the place, and we were 1-0 up. Oh, Jesus Christ, happy days. But that was fine. It was kind of settled down once we went to 1-0 up. And then when we went 2-0 up, I thought, right, about time City give us now an easy ride, you know. And then when they pulled that overhead kick, my God. When it came back to 2-1, I don't know. I probably have to watch the match back 2 or 3 times to kind of remember, because the old nerves took over when I could see it going horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. I thought, oh, God. Oh, no.
You know, inside the ground, mate, first of all, I thought the only suspect player in the match was really, really rare as well from him, was Akanji. I thought his passing was really sloppy.
Yeah.
What Doku had a great game for us, mate. I really thought Doku, that was his best game in a City shirt for us. Phil was outstanding. I thought Walker was outstanding. I don't think Ortega could have done anything about that goal. Although we could have been 6 up at half time. Only for either bad finishing or great goalkeeping from them. Thought Haaland had a very, very good game with his linking up. KDB was like a man possessed. He really, really was. Rodri, it's just Rodri. So, yeah, there was a lot of positives. I never felt in the ground, even at 2-1, that it was going to go. It was going to be one of them days, if you know what I mean.
It's funny you say that, because I had a conversation with a young City fan. He's only 18, and he turned we're always kind of having it out during the course of the season. And he says to me about a couple of weeks ago, and it'll probably resonate with you and probably the older fans in the chat.
Yeah.
He says, you're trying to convince me to think that you
trying to call me old?
You are old.
I've just clocked that.
you're old. I know you're partying at the weekend. You think you're 18, but you're not. The next thing you get the 18 will be 18 stone.
Why am I going on a diet?
But he says to me, he says, "You're trying to convince me of how City used to be in typical City," and he says, I've never experienced that." He says, "So, like, if you asked him the result, if you asked him the result today, he'd say 6-0.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no, maybe, or he says, you're trying to convince me the way you think." He says, "That's like me trying to convince you to think like me."
It is right, isn't it? It is right, though, because we, for fans of an older generation like us, we're always still cautious. And sometimes I feel it's wrong way we should be warning the younger ones, like, you've not seen anything yet. Let them live their best City life. Yeah. They don't need us being negative Karens, did he, saying, you don't know how good it is. Let them enjoy it, mate.
I know, yeah, but it's just something that it's a mindset thing. No, I mean, it's automatic fucking default setting. Say, like, when we went 2-1, when they scored and it was 2-1, I thought, oh God, here we go. I could just see them scoring again. Where he was probably sitting watching, thinking, "Oh, we'd score 10."
Yeah. I just felt, mate. It's so, like, for those who, I was a little bit startled with something Paddy said to me before we came live about looks like next season could be Pep's last season. I was half expecting it anyway, with it being listen, us fans are drained watching it. Imagine getting them players up for it, not week in, week out, but day in, day out in training and stuff like that. So I'd love to, obviously we'd all love him to stay on, but nobody could deny what he's done for us, can they?
No, but if you listen, like, I know you're only back from the match. You haven't heard. I watched the whole after-match commentary and stuff like that, and they listened to every one of them players describe that team as a family, no egos, running for each other, closing down for each other, doing everything with each other. As Kyle Walker says, they're more of a family than my actual family because I spend more time with them,
Well, he doesn't spend much time with his family, according to the press.
Yeah, even Silva, like Silva says, when he came to Man City to start, he says you had the senior pros, like Company and Aguero and Fernandinho and stuff like that. He says it's my role now to teach the young lads coming through that mentality, that mindset.
Yeah.
So you can, like, it's very healthy behind the scenes, obviously, because you can see what they're doing on the pitch. But I'm just wondering, will that change?
What was lovely today, mate, after the match, I'd tell you what was really, really lovely. Erling Haaland, and looks like all the Haaland family, all sort of like one side of the stadium, near the family stand, near where I sit, and they're all there, calm, having pictures, talk, getting his little sister and stuff like that involved. There was a few with Norwegian flags and stuff like that, what obviously part of his family. And it was a case of, this is important, the family time. So it doesn't surprise me what you're saying about, the family vibe, what they have.
Yeah. I think if there's any chance that Pep will stay, it'll be for that reason. Because Pep says himself, like, no, because your man character, Jimmy Redknapp says to him, he says, like, how do you get £1 million multi-millionaires? Like, how do you get them to run and chase down? And he says, I don't. He says, that's their own doing. He says, yeah, I can coach or whatever. He says, but like, that's their own kind of mentality. He says, you can't teach that. It's they want to do it. It's not what they're being told to do it. It's they want to do it. So that's my only kind of hope that might change Pep's mind and stay. Oh, there she is. Well,
Good evening, everyone.
was it worth the wait? Was he good?
It was good. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed the game. He enjoyed the drinks after.
Do you know something? This is absolutely perfect.
How many marks out of 10 would you give him?
To sit next to me.
Yeah.
I'm being set up here, aren't I?
No?
Kinda.
I would say, out of 10, Anne-Marie, how was it good to be sat next to him for the first time this season?
Oh, it was a definite 10. Definite 10, but I feel like I'm being set up.
We was telling everybody that you'd gone out on the lash to as Rodri's guest and to the players' party, and you've not mentioned your dad once, and you just went with her. Oh, it was great to sit next to him. So it was seamless. That seamless.
Well, for everybody who doesn't know, my dad's not been very well for the last 12 months or so, and he hasn't been able to get to a game all season. And today was his one and only game of the season. And he's the reason I'm a City fan. And I was sat beside him and we celebrated. And it was worth everything just to be there with him today.
Absolutely. Tell him he's a glory hunter from me.
I've already told him. He was warned that if we didn't win today, I'd be blaming him.
So we're just going through bits and pieces for the match then, Anne-Marie. I'm absolutely drained.
I'm not so much drained. It's not as bad as the Villa game a couple of years ago. Don't feel that bad, but there was points where it was a little bit, I won't say nervy, but you could see that a change needed to be made. And for me, Akanji needed to come off at half-time.
Funnily enough, we've just said that that's probably his worst game of the season, Akanji, today.
It is, and whether we put on Stones or Aki.
I put on Stones. Jesus Christ, am I? I've put quite a few Stones on. But I'm just saying as well, Anne-Marie, even though I'm drained, at no point did I feel it was going to go away from us today.
No, not at all.
We was possessed, weren't we, to start off with?
The way we started that game today and that first half, we should have been 5 up, easily 5 up. I don't think West Ham crossed the halfway line once in that first half. And we were all doing our jobs. And that first goal from Foden, wow. I mean, it was just wow. And the fact that we got off to such a great start, I think, just eradicated the nerves from the stadium.
What was saying as well, just before you come on, Anne-Marie, it's that I thought that without a shadow of a doubt was Doku's best performance for us today. I thought it was brilliant.
And I thought Kevin was immense today.
Yeah.
Absolutely immense. He was all over the place. And obviously Phil, well, there's just no words to describe Phil at the moment.
There is. Absolute genius.
Player of the year.
And do you think he deserves Player of the Year? I certainly do, because let's not forget he didn't start the season in the first team. He had a few, if I'm not mistaken, he had a few substitute appearances and stuff like that, and he just got himself back in. And once he got in, and I tell you what's one of the biggest credits to Phil Foden. Now, when we get a free kick, it's more or less him taking the free kick and not Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah, I made a mental note of that myself. The baton has been passed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 27 goals this season isn't to be sniffed at. Not at all.
No, absolutely.
It just shows you the impact he's had on our team this year.
Thank you from doors to doors. Thank you very much. That is much appreciated. That'll go to Anne-Marie's Ruben Diaz fund.
Absolutely. And how are all my favourite people in the chat tonight? What? Sorry, Paddy?
Did you say Foden has scored 27 goals?
Yeah.
In all competitions?
In all competitions this season.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fan of the Invisible Man said, I had to applaud their goal. That was something else. It was a very, very good goal. I was a little bit shell-shocked, to be fair, because I was hoping for that a handball, because it went to, I think it was Diaz who was going like that, his hand, I thought.
No, hit his chest. Come off the West Ham player's chest, and your man over. He took a touch actually and set himself up, and then he done the overhead kick, and it was past Ortega before he knew what was happening.
And do you know something as well? Quite a lot of West Ham fans stayed right till the end as well.
Full credit to them.
Full credit to them, considering it was delayed for about another half an hour for people to get off the pitch.
Oh, we won't discuss that, please, because that is the one thing that could ruin my day.
Well, I'll tell you something now. For nothing, there's a fine coming our way.
Another charge. Woohoo! 116.
Because Silva, Holland, Kevin De Bruyne had to go over and tell him to get off the pitch. Why is the man
before the plan? Yeah. And rightly so. Right. This is my stance on it, and I kept saying this while the pitch was invaded. Right. I actually saw stewards holding a flag for people to have the picture took at the goal, and it's like, you're there to prevent that. But what I would have done, like they was shepherding them, sort of like slowly. And by the way, I'm not a negative Karen or anything like that. It just does me head in. It is a really big bugbear of mine. But do you want to know what I'd have done in that situation? I'd have shepherded all those on the pitch down the tunnel, where the ambulance thing is, the tunnel, all down there, so they couldn't see the trophy lift. That's what I'd do. Or issue stewards with tasers.
I think, right, I understand the emotional side of it, right? But you have to understand, you have to be able to see it from a player's perspective. When you see thousands of people running at you, yeah, they have good intentions and they're well-meaning. But like if you look back at it and you see what Doku had to get through to get off that pitch, what I think should happen, right? I have no problem with people going on the pitch. Do you know that cordon they put around where the players come out?
Yeah.
Let the players get down the tunnel, put the cordon in place, and then come onto the pitch. Don't come on and start fucking running at players and frightening the life out of them.
I think it makes us look small time. It's that simple. The fact that we do, I totally understand after the Aguero moment. I totally get that kind of emotional rush. I get that. But every season since, it's not been quite the same. And I just don't understand, because for me, it's telling me that all those on level 1 are just a bunch of selfish buggers, because, I'm up in level 3. I've got no issue with where I sit. I think I've got a great seat, but I wouldn't go down. I wouldn't have attempted to go on the pitch.
He was actually queuing up to get on the pitch while the game was still going on.
I know they were. It was ridiculous. And the only way City, and they can do something about it, is start handing out bans and fines. Because they can do that. They've got cameras all over the place. I know it might be harsh, but it impacts on everybody else's game day experience, them doing that for their own.
Well, they actually slapped the head of Turku a good few times before he got in behind that cordon, and that's not nice, like.
No. Well, I could see it going on because it was on the opposite end of the stadium. It was on the south stand side. Knew something was going on, and everyone was booing him anyway. But it's just like, listen, should we talk about the football and not these
morons?
Yeah. So, as I say, I was totally. I still do. I am drained. I don't know if that's because I was out last. I tell you what, as well. For anybody who knows Pat from the Mancunian way, was out all day and all night with him last night. What a top guy, as we know. I tell you what, we put some amber nectars away. So that's probably why I feel a little bit drained today as well.
We know. We saw your message.
Did you? What message is that?
The one at fucking
No idea what. But fast forward. No, but yeah, we had a really good.
We were broken English when you after about 1 o'clock in the morning you go into Chinese.
And by the way, before I forget, guys, thank you for last week as well. I've watched the show back, and it was a really good show.
Well, what did you expect? You had the A team in.
Anyway, thank you. Elliot says, good evening, Elliot. I know Elliot was talking broken biscuits as well a bit earlier on. Enjoy, everyone. Not bad for a club without any history. Absolutely, mate. And do you know something? All we're going to see now, which I'm going to love, is because by the way, I can't go on Twitter anyway. I've had a week ban for saying that Howard Webb wants a slap. So
yeah, well, it's threatening violence. You can't do that, Andy.
No, that a slap. It's only a slap.
Yeah, but it's a threat of violence.
Well, it doesn't deserve a slap, doesn't it?
It deserves a slap, you're right.
I'll tell you one thing that did happen this week and it stood out like a sore thumb. It was like everybody had ammunition and somebody pressed the go button and everybody started releasing about the 115 charges. Every last one of them. Sky News, TNT Sports, everyone. It was all about the 115 charges. And it was like they were just waiting for the collective go and they all let it go. And here we are now surrounded with it.
I think we can thank our friend Mr. Richard Keys for that.
And look at that. By Richard Keys, Matt Goldfish, Sly Sports, BT, Talkshite, Radio, BBC and all, Meltdown. Absolutely. And there's no better feeling than everybody hates us. They don't want us to win anything, especially the Premier League, and they've got to go there. There's the trophy. There's the Premier League trophy. And that Masters bottled out of coming to the Etihad today.
I think that was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Like whatever happened to the presumption of innocence.
Well, that doesn't count for us, Paddy. You must know that by now.
Yeah, but like there was a team in the verge of creating history. I know we went on with the created, and he was stuck below an Arsenal. That's. I know he wasn't welcome at the Etihad. I know he wasn't well received last year, but still, he is the boss of a product that's beamed all over the world, and he sent his lackey, and he stayed in London.
Yeah, it does seem like it balled out of it. So in true typical style, City style, you know, when she walked out, it's like boo, and that just shows you we can celebrate as well as getting our point across. But I just want to speak a little bit about the West Ham fans, like we mentioned earlier. You know, the way they stayed, and I thought that was very, very respectful. I know West Ham don't like Arsenal and stuff like that, but they could have just skedaddled once. Once the 90 minutes was up. But the way they stay, you know, I've always considered West Ham fans, and I'm not just saying this, the best club and fans in London. I've always had great affection. I think that's because of the players down the years. You know, you things like your Bishops and stuff. You know, Kevin Orlock and stuff like that, who all played for the Hammers. Before that, you had the likes of Steve Lomas's and stuff. So we've always sort of like been on par with the fans. We appreciate what we've got. So yeah, huge credit to West Ham today. They did themselves. Hey,
Steve Lomas was done to James Milner. He hated us.
Steve Lomas doesn't, mate.
Oh, he does. Oh, he absolutely does.
He doesn't. Not when I spoke to him, mate.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
Probably about 18 months ago.
Now, well, he's changed his tune, so he's a turncoat.
A bit like you. You supported Chelsea up until 2008.
No. I supported United, then Chelsea. Get it right. And if Arsenal won it next year, I'll be an Arsenal fan.
You're an ass anyway, don't worry.
I know that. We just tried to have to convince you, that you're one.
So we've got one more match left, as we know, next weekend, the FA Cup final. Apparently, was that Ten Hag's, was he on repeat from last season with that speech, by the way?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
It was more or less word for word what he said last season.
It made me laugh out loud listening to him do that speech at Old Trafford last week and going on about how the greatest fans, and yet they were booing him while he was saying it. You just think, what kind of a prick are you?
Well, he's not as bad as little Jimmy looking for a free stadium for the North.
And I refuse to watch anything with regards to Liverpool either. I don't want to know about the tears shed over Klopp leaving. Goodbye, good luck, and good riddance.
I had a couple of minutes before while I was setting this show up tonight, and I caught a bit of Pep's post-match today, and he seemed really upset that Klopp's going. No, genuinely, he actually says that Klopp has more or less sort of like helped him become the manager he is. The way Klopp's been pushing him. So he seemed genuinely.
Do you see what Klopp said when they were on about the 115 charges? Klopp says, I don't want to know about that. He says, but I'll tell you one thing I do know. He says, if they hadn't had Pep at Man City, they wouldn't have had the success they had, even without the 115 charges, or money here or money there. It makes no difference what happened on the pitch.
That's what we've all been saying. That's what we've been saying till we blew in the face, isn't it? Because what Pep Guardiola brings, yeah, he's furnished with all the best and stuff like that. But you only have to see years ago, and I always refer back to it, the Galacticos, when they had absolutely every best player in the world and they won nothing. So it's got to be down to a man manager. It's easy to say, oh yeah, all this money he's got, stuff like that. You look at the stats, he's not spent as much as most in the Premier League, but because of the charges, I'm sick of hearing about the charges. I just wish it was over. He'll always be classed as a spending manager, which is absolute bullshit.
It won't be over, Andy, for years, man. So we may as well get used to it. But on a more positive note, is there any painters in the chat? Because there's a job for you tomorrow morning at the Etihad. Mm-hmm. Do you know why, Andy?
Why?
Because there's a big wall with a saying on it. Nobody has won 4 yet. That's going to have to be painted over and redone.
5.
And here, you talk about 5. Did you see the cryptic message that Man City put out? No, you didn't actually, because you're barred off. You're in Twitter jail. You didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm in Twitter jail.
Did you see it, Amory? No.
No, I didn't.
It's Connect 4, right?
Yeah.
And I forget now what the saying is, but they're more or less implying if they put another disc in, it's going to be 5 in a row.
Well, look, for me, there's nothing that can stop us. I think if we have a good transfer window, which I believe we will, I just see us going from strength to strength.
On that note, right, as regards to transfer window, and I think your man Jamie Redknapp made a good point today. He says, who are they actually going to bring in the summer? And he went through the whole team. He says, you have Alvarez and Haaland up the front, so you're not bringing a striker in. He named all the backs, so you're not bringing a defender in. He named all the midfielders, you're not bringing a midfielder in. So who are you bringing in?
You've got regardless, you've got to refresh. If you don't refresh the squad, mate, in any way, yeah, we'll lose a favourite or two, but that's life. We've lost Aguero, we've lost David Silva, we've lost Yaya Toure, we've lost Company, we've lost Fernandinho, Gundogan. But do you know something? We evolve, and it's almost like, yeah, we might not be able to get somebody in of the quality of say, an Aguero or a David Silva. But what we'll do, we'll bring somebody in who will offer something slightly different, and the dynamics of the team will change. Listen,
I'm going to name you down in this now, and I'm going to put you on the spot. For where? What position?
On the right for Bernardo. I do believe Bernardo is going.
I don't think so. Not judging by that interview today.
Listen, I think this is only my personal opinion. I think Bernardo will go. I think there's a chance Kyle Walker will go to Saudi. So I think that
he says he's not going. Because he asked him about that. Your man says to him, you had the chance to go at the end of last season. And he went, yeah. He says, it came very close. And he says, for one reason or another, he says, I decided to stay. He says, and I'm not leaving.
I hope not, because I really rate Kyle Walker. I really, really do. I think he's had a bit of bad rep this season through no fault of his own. And that's only because Pep, when we've had all the injuries and stuff like that, Pep's pushed him far forward, which Kyle Walker's a right back. So when you're asking a player, especially at his age and stuff like that, because he's dead old, to play a different role, it's bound to affect the dynamics of the team. I think Kyle Walker's had a decent season. Let me ask you a question, and everyone in the chat. Out of the past 4 on the trot, which is your most satisfying Premier League win out of the 4? I'll go first. I'm going to go for this one, not just because it's 4 in the row. My thoughts behind it is we've never had so many injuries, suspensions under Pep Guardiola. We lost Rodri for 4 Premier League matches through suspension, KDB for 5 months, Haaland for 2 months. We've lost Edison in and out all season. John Stones. For me, it's like for everything has gone against us this season in respect of injuries and stuff like that. And for the way we've dealt with it is nothing short of incredible. I'd also like to put a little bit of respect on Alvarez as well, because during the early parts of the season, he dragged us with wins. There's no two ways about it. What's your musings?
I think I'd be inclined to agree with this one. I think the fact that, for the majority of this season, there's been 2 other teams involved in this title race. I know it ended up only being 1 other in the end, but, for the majority of this season, there was 2 other teams. And we've had to battle hard. And at times, I feel people were quite quick to write us off. But we just kept our heads down and kept doing what we had to do. And as we know, once we hit Christmas, thanks, Steve. Once we hit Christmas, we went on our, we've gone on our, usual run. And I think we have to look at the likes of, there's lots of things gone unnoticed. Rodri, 50 Premier League games unbeaten. I mean, that is some going. The fact that it's 4 in a row, and
we've won at Spurs twice.
And we've won at Spurs twice this season. But it's been more evident for me this season than in previous years.
Thank you, Coffee. Cheers, pal.
That people really don't like us. So that's why I think this one stands out for me at the minute. It might all change again tomorrow when I calm down.
Martin and his son was on the pitch.
Were they now?
But we're not talking about that. Carry on. So, Paddy, what's the most satisfying out of the 4 for you?
Well, over the last 4, it has to be this one, because this season, in my opinion, we've played absolutely poo at times. Like this has probably been our worst season out of the 4, and we still won it.
When you say our worst, what do you let's define worst?
Well, like if you look at all the draws we had, the losses we had, that kind of like spell where it wasn't going right and it wasn't coming off, and then the players had another meeting, and all of a sudden things started to happen. That I don't think that prolonged period of not playing well happened in the prior 3 seasons. I think we were up against it with Liverpool, and we were on our toes the whole time. I don't think, like, say if you were to award percentages, I think the last 3 seasons, they played out of their skin 100%. I think City won the league this year, and as Anne-Marie says, there was 2 teams in it up until a couple of weeks ago. I think City won it at about 75% of their capabilities, and that's why I think that's why this one means more to me. I don't think City playing well.
Terence Trent Derby.
Yeah, you turn into a Scouser, Paddy. This means more.
This means no. A section says there. This means 4 to us. Foden
Hey, Terence Trent D'Arby was crying today because it meant more.
But yeah, I think Foden, when he was interviewed, he said something like that. This 4th, it means more to us, like that. So I don't know whether it just meant generally, or he was having a bit of a pop at his mate up the East Lancs. But yeah, Paddy, I get what you're saying. But I just think the things what have been thrown at us this season, I know every team has suspensions and injuries, la-di-da-di-da, but we've had more than we've ever had. So the way we've overcome that, and by the way, I don't think anyone either, as much as I don't like Arsenal, I don't think anybody would accuse them to being bottlers this season, because they've took us all the way, really, haven't they? You know, it's just that
you wouldn't accuse Arsenal of having bottlers, and they came to us and parked the bus. Are you for real?
That was the biggest mistake they made this season.
We was there for the taking at that point.
We were, and they came and they just sat back, holding on for a draw. And if they'd have wanted to, they could have beaten us easily that day.
Yeah, and they'd have won the league by 1 point. So yeah, they did bottle it.
I don't think so.
And they bottled it against Man United. They sat back against Man United, sorry. When's the last time you seen Man City sitting back? You'll be sitting back tonight.
Hang on. Pep sat back against Spurs on Tuesday.
What?
Pep sat back against Spurs on Tuesday, didn't he? When Son was 1-on-1.
I see. You had to go and change his underpants.
I tell you what, he wasn't the only one, mate. I had to check me undercrackers as well, because that we've not been out. Ortega. Let's not forget, Ortega has got us in this position on Tuesday, because that 1-on-1, if that had gone in and it'd have ended a draw, we'd have lost the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken, today, wouldn't we, on goal difference?
Yeah, but Haaland would have still got that penalty, so it still would have been 2-1. So look for the positive, man. Look for the positive.
I do. I just want to lay a bit of respect on the unsung heroes, if you like, who have got us through, like your Alvarez's, like your Ortegas and stuff like that, because it's easy sometimes to forget, moments in the season, like after the show, I'm sure, and during the course of the week, and that I'll reflect on key moments, what have got us to where we are. Ortega's for me, that I think that's the biggest one to get us where we are today. I
know people have different opinions on this, But when you swap out Eddie for Ortega, you're almost swapping out like for like in terms of qualities. Like I think Kyle Walker put it very well today in his on-page interview. He says every player has their superpower. And he started naming them all, like Doku one-on-one. He says, I'm like the quarterback. He says, I have speed. That's my superpower. And he says, look, he says, I could go down through all the team and name all their superpowers. But for me, yeah, Edison has brought probably better distribution. Ortega is probably better stopper. But like
better shopkeeper.
Shopkeeper, yeah. But like you're almost, it's almost like for like, but when the two of them are swapped out. No,
Mark, do us a favour, Mark. Drop me an email, mate, because I was away in Benidorm, wasn't I? And it totally slipped my mind. Send me an email, mate, and I'll pick it up and I'll do it straight after the show for you, mate.
Yeah. AKA, he forgot about you, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
There's a lot of truth in that statement. I've been busy. God.
Well, Gundogan definitely sent his love. Did you see? No, again, you're on Twitter, Jade. You didn't see it. Gundogan sent the tweet out.
Did he?
Yeah. So he's classy. Like Gundogan's classy.
Did Mahrez, by the way?
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
You see, he said, yeah, Mahrez sends his love to you anyway, Anne-Marie. He's not forgot you, has he?
Prick. Alec, don't encourage him, for God's sake.
What? So, next weekend, it's almost like we forgot that we can do the double-double.
Which been mentioned?
No, one game at a time, Andy.
Well, that is the next game.
I know, but that's why we haven't thought about it as yet, because we've been concentrating on this one.
You've been constipated.
Well, you might have been.
I tell you what, at some points today I wasn't. Alec, I hope it all goes well for you on Wednesday, mate.
Exactly, Alec.
Good luck, Alec.
Yeah. Just look, Alec.
Alec also says Paqueta was quiet. He's watching real winners. He was. I couldn't really judge Paqueta today, in all honesty, because of the occasion, and I did notice he does when he gets tapped, he does go down very, very easily. Now he went down easily today, but he shot straight back up as if to say, I better not try and get somebody a booking. I think it was Foden who went in on him. So, yeah, if he comes to us in the summer, he comes to us. You know, something. If not, he doesn't.
I'll tell you the thing that made me sad today was Jack Grealish's interview.
I've not seen it, mate. Not seen it.
Jack Grealish indicated that he was suffering from his mental health during the season. And he says, what Pep did for me behind closed doors, especially in his office, he says, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it just made me think back of and we covered it a multitude of times on the podcast here about Jack versus Doku and Doku versus Jack and all this kind of stuff. It must have taken its toll.
Absolutely. But I tell you again, I don't know if it's shown it on the TV, Paddy, but I watched. I don't know if you've seen it as well, Anne-Marie. Just before when Jack was going up for his medal, the City fan who's got dementia who went up with Paul Dickoff, with a trophy. Jack Grealish, I think it's just Jack Grealish and Foden who spent time with his fan, actually chatting to him rather than just thanks. Actually went up, and that is Jack Grealish. That's not the first time. That's not because of cameras on him. That is Jack Grealish as a human being. So we just need to get Jack back to where we know he can be.
Yeah,
But I love Jack. I love Jack.
Actually, your man Mickey Richards says to him, "Stop putting yourself down," because he was saying that he didn't play well in the season and stuff like that. He was putting himself down until Richards corrected him and says, "Don't do that." He says, "You played well, know what I mean?"
Michael says it was Newcastle fans booing Ten Bob. I don't know, because I'm not saying it wasn't just Newcastle. Listen, a mate of mine, Simon, he's a season ticket holder at Old Trafford, and he says United fans were booing Ten Bob. So let's hope everyone was booing him. I don't. I want him to sign a new 10-year contract with United.
Exactly.
So the double.
Oh, I can't even. Andy, stop. No.
Why?
Fucking hell, they let me get over today.
Do you not think it's doable?
Oh, it's my mind tells me we'll hammer them, or my heart tells me we'll hammer them, but my mind, I have difficulty remembering that game today. It's draining. Like, it's fucking. I know we should trust the team and we should trust Pep, and we were annihilating them, like. But even still, when they come back 2-1, I was thinking, oh God, here we go.
Alec, with the operation you're having on Wednesday, mate, that's quite apt.
Do you know what? That's a bugbear of mine's, that history. Why do people why don't they just say you have no success instead of history? 1894 we were formed, so we have history, like.
Yeah.
You keep saying, oh, you have history. It's no success. Stop fucking use the right word.
We've got no history, Paddy.
People have to throw something at us, don't they, Paddy? It's like we're all glory hunters, regardless of the fact that we were there when we were shit. And it's easy. We're an easy target. It's like, oh, you only started supporting them once the Sheikh took over. No, I didn't. I was there when we were nearly out of business.
Yep.
And people just have to pick on something. So it's that. So we only came in people's, the majority of supporters' eyes, we only came good after the takeover.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the fact that we did have a history. We were the first team I think the first local team to win the FA Cup, weren't we?
1904.
Yeah, but
Years
nobody.
before Arsenal and United and Liverpool.
Anne-Marie, read that from Mario while I get a drink, please.
Okay, let's take a beat to bask in what we've done, what Pep has done, what the new arrivals have done. This was our rebuild year, and we won the league. And you're dead right.
Yeah.
You know, and it was evident at the start of the season that it took us a while to get things to click.
Even though we was winning at the start of the season,
but that for me wasn't a true reflection of the team. It was like we were being carried by the treble that got us into those first 6 or 7 games of the season, and then that's when the turning point, because then you had the likes of Rodri getting suspended, Kevin was out, and stuff like that. You know, other players had injuries. Kovacic was injured, and it took us a while to properly, you know, it's like if you'd have asked the majority of us at the start of the season, Gavidol wouldn't have been your first choice, would he?
No. Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah.
And we said it was always going to take time for some of these players, for him, Doku, you know, Nunes. It was always going to take time, and yet they've settled now. Doku has done all right. Gavidol's been inspirational at times towards the end of this season. And then you look at the other plus point for us. You look at Oscar Bob. You know, prior to this season, unless you followed the kids, you wouldn't have had a clue who he was. And yet he's come in, taken his place in the first team and had an impact. And they're the things that we have to look at. You know, it was always going to take time, but we got there and we were back to playing Pep's way. Yeah. Yes, at times it was frustrating, but, you know, without the frustration, we don't get these highs.
And that's the thing, Emery, with Rico Lewis and Gomez and Oscar Bob, the injection, like, I know when we're home and hosed match wise and Pep brings them on, the injection of pace they have.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we might be 4-0 up, but when them three come on, they think, well, I want to score 6 or 7 or I want to score 8. They don't, they're relentless. Like, and that's 3 players that, for obvious reasons, are being kept out of the team because obviously what's in front of them, you know. But they're all they'll have a bigger part to play next season.
Of course they will.
Because Rico Lewis probably won't end up at right back. He'll probably end up on the right-hand side of the pitch somewhere.
Rico reminds me of a modern-day Ian Brightwell for all you older ones, where he's not going to nail down a position. What he'll do a job wherever Pep asks him to play. I don't see him as a right back here, Paddy. I don't see him as a right back. I see him as somebody who'll just go wherever and break the play up. And
what did you call them? Utility players, was it? Back in the day? Where you could put them on saying fucking they play nets for you.
Yeah.
And I think Gomez fits into that bracket. Gomez is another one that can play left. Like I think his position is actually left back, but he very rarely plays it. And then
I haven't seen him play at left back. I'd prefer to see him in midfield. But Oscar Bob, you only need to look, and it takes you back to the game against Newcastle. And he came on and Kevin came on. Kevin scored a goal and then set up Bob for the winning goal. And it was, you know, his movement for that and the touch was absolutely fantastic. And these lads are only going to get better and better when they're training with these first team players as they are training with them all the time and learning from them. And the future's bright for me.
I think so. Like, even that what you referenced there, Emery, that the De Bruyne assist for Oscar Bob against Newcastle, them De Bruyne's pass, we've come to expect it, but it was a thing of beauty. But it's what Oscar Bob did with it when he got it.
Yeah.
It was like it was like he kind of shimmied the keeper and passed it past him. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone possesses the kind of the confidence or the skill set to be able to do that, you know. But like we have gone back to the old saying, we have a lot of utility players. Like Grealish, left, right, Silva, left, right, Foden, left, right.
We've got Shawnee, right.
We do. And he was on the Twitter today jumping through his skin because we did 4 in a row. I can't wait to see his father tonight at 10:30 and match of the day.
Me either. I'm looking forward to it.
But you know what I'd love to see, Anne-Marie? Your man, that Martin Schoen, that hateful bastard.
Oh, I'd love it as well. I'd love to see the two of them sat there crying.
Go on, do it in Kev Keegan style. I'd love it.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets today. I feel a bit tired now.
I know, but what an absolute great day. You know, something. I know I'm being biased, but City fans are the best in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Even today, the atmosphere was incredible. Even in the the family stand, wasn't it, Anne-Marie? You know, it's
It
just
certainly was. I have to give
And the family
all our
stand.
fans. It was. And all our fans deserve credit today. They were in great voice.
I don't
I
know
won't
about
say
that.
great voice.
They must have had the microphones turned up in the family stand, had they?
No,
Oh,
all round. Even the Colin Bell level 3 was giving it a song today, which is very unusual.
Wonder who sits up there.
Me.
What was it like in your house, Paddy? Was you singing it, watching it on telly at home?
I was watching it on Sky Sports.
Andy, don't be mean.
I'm only being mean to Paddy.
But I tell you, on a serious note, right, Andy, you say about City fans being the best in the world.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
I'll speak for myself, and I'll let you kind of offer your own opinion on it. I don't think the magnitude of what we've done, like, all right, we've done 4 in a row, but we've done 6 out of the last 7. We've done a triple. We've done a domestic quad. It hasn't sank in the magnitude of what we have achieved in the last 10 years, say. It hasn't sank in. It's only when it'll be gone. It's like players say, oh, you don't think about the things you did until you retire and you look back on it. I think, well, I'll speak for myself. I think until it's gone or we're not as successful as we have been, when we look back in this era and think, holy God, that was unreal. What do you two think?
I think you're right.
Sorry, what was the question?
Like, have you?
Don't listen to him. Just ignore him, Paddy.
No.
Ignore him. He's been a tit.
I was reading the comments.
I think you're right, Paddy. The fact
I do as well.
What we've achieved, the greatness of it, I don't think will sink in for a long, long time. You look at all the different things we've done over the last few years, the 100 points.
Yeah. I even forgot about that, the 100 points.
Yeah, the 100 points was unbelievable. It will never, ever get done again.
It's like what Michael says, Pep will tell the players that back-to-back doubles have never been done. Absolutely, mate. And it just seems that we've always got sort of like the next challenge, done it? So like 4 in a row has never been done. Back-to-back doubles have never been done. So
that's my point, Andy, about getting the painters in tomorrow morning and paint over 4 haven't been done yet. Get it painted over and get back-to-back doubles haven't been done yet. But that's only going to last a week before the paint will be back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We can't take in the magnitude of what we've achieved.
No.
You know, like I said, the 100 points, the domestic quad, the actual fact that we did a treble last season.
Yeah.
You know, and I know the Super Cup and the World Club Cup, whatever the hell it was called that we won.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's ever had all 5 of those trophies at once.
No.
Until now. And we've done it. And yeah, there'll come a point where things aren't going quite so well because times are going to change. We know that. It's inevitable. Where we can sit back and unfortunately, this is when we'll come a bit like the Rags because we'll be saying, God, do you remember when we did this and how amazing it was? And, you know, this, that, and the other. And it'll be a bit like the History Channel.
It hit me when I went to see the 5 trophies. When they brought the 5 trophies out in tour and I went to see the 5 trophies. And you just see them there and you think, Jesus. Like you see it, it's in your face, like.
We do have to like give our heads a little bit of a wobble in what we've seen and stuff like that. Stevie says Rico has 2 Premier League winning medals as a team. Also, Phil Foden is the youngest to win 6 Premier League titles.
And he's 23, Andy.
Also, congratulations as well to Erling Haaland, who's got the Golden Boot 2 seasons on the bounce. So we're forgetting little bits of snippets and stuff like that. That just shows you the magnitude of how successful everything is. By the way, I still can't get over Rodri not even in the top 8 players.
How many goals did Rodri get this season? I know he scored today. Was that his 10th?
No, I think it was his 9th, because I need to double check, because if he scored 10, then they have to play the FA Cup final with the shirts tucked in.
That's why I was asking. I think it's close to 10.
Let's see.
Well, Paddy, Anne-Marie said 9, and when I went to school, 9 was close to 10.
He's on fire tonight, isn't he?
Isn't he just?
You wish it
was.
was.
Fucking stage.
It should be on telly.
Well, I think radio is better for you. Oh, he's gone. Did I upset him?
Oh, straight in, no kissing.
It is only 9. He's got 8 Premier League goals.
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
Come back, you knobhead. Rodri's got 9 goals this season, 8 in the league, 1 in the Champions League.
Yeah, you're on top of Paddy now. No, but
it is close to 10, but it isn't 10.
For God's sake. What are you going to do? Have an arm wrestle who's right and who's wrong?
Right.
I've just looked it up. I'm confident of the fact I'm right. Paddy knows better.
Female, aren't you?
Paddy knows better than to argue with a woman. You could do with learning a few lessons on it.
Andy.
Why there's not even one on our panel?
You don't know, you'll be meeting me next season, you know, Baldy.
There now. I've just kicked him out.
Next time she said that.
Oh, they're crying on their feet.
Let's get back to football.
Oh, God.
Listen, you've got to have a laugh. And today of all days, what an absolutely phenomenal day.
Absolutely.
This time next week, we could be back-to-back double champions. And that itself is staggering, isn't it?
It's beyond comprehension.
It's beyond my wildest dreams. This whole decade has been more than I could ever have imagined with being a City fan.
And as Steve says, champions again. Ole, ole.
Did you see Liam Gallagher's slant on that today? I thought it was very good by him.
Oh, you're saying that again because you know I've been banned off Twitter.
He went champions again. Ole, ole.
Very good, Paddy.
Very good, Paddy. You should be on.
Gallagher says, "You bunch of miserable gets."
Well, no, only because you mentioned Gallagher pre-game. Who did they drag out onto the pitch again?
Oh, he did not, did they?
They bloody did.
No.
With Johnny Marr.
Johnny Marr. And the legend, who is a legend, Mike Joyce, he's an absolutely charming, wonderful.
He might well be.
On a side note, and this is totally genuine, I get on really well with the old City physio, Roy Bailey. And before the match today, which I've shown you, didn't I, on the thing, I thought it was absolutely lovely. He sent me a message today basically saying, you popped into my thoughts. Have a fantastic day, Andy. City till we die. The champions, we will do what they do. And he sent that picture with Joe Corrigan. So I thought that was absolutely beautiful. That, you know, why was in his thoughts, I don't know. But, you know, for somebody that is just, I love
You're
that.
in my thoughts quite a lot as well, but usually it's murderous.
I prefer that than the other.
I'm fucking glad you finished that sentence, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, he is. Roy Bailey is an absolute gentleman. He really is. Anything else before we go, guys?
I'll tell you something. When you'll see it now when you look back.
No, go on.
There wasn't much alcohol involved today.
Much alcohol involved?
Oh, on the pitch? No, they did. They had confetti cannons instead, didn't they?
Did you see what Jack Grealish did?
Did you get pissed on them?
No.
Confetti
I'm trying to open it.
Yeah, watch it. It's on Twitter, Anne-Marie.
I know it is. I've seen it on Twitter.
He fucking opened it back ways.
I love Jack Grealish. I've got man love for Jack Grealish. So, thank you. I know it's apologies to everyone. We know it's a later show, but we definitely wanted to do one, and obviously because of what went on, it's later than usual. So, thank you for everybody who's joined us. As always, we've had a laugh, had a good giggle. On to the next one now, which is going to be Saturday, 3:00. Where's that going to be, Anne-Marie?
Wembley, Etihad South.
Wembley, it's a city place in London that we have to go and see. Wembley.
Who let Michael Flatley in?
Michael Flatley's a dancer, you twat.
Exactly, dickhead.
I'm going.
Thank God.
Yeah, for anybody who's I know Martin on the Mancunian Way is doing a show at 10:30. I might go on for half an hour. I've got a bit of work to do for tomorrow, but I'll try and get on there for half an hour.
The bit of work you do for a cup for a fella you forgot all about.
Yeah, poor old Mark.
Remember him?
Oh.
I mean, he's not joking.
He's not even talking 20 minutes ago.
What are you on about?
Mark Harris, who's in the chat.
Go on.
Hey, it's not 1:00. Don't be doing the Chinese stuff. And we'll start showing the people in the chat your broken messages at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. like you actually need to tell us at 1:00 in the morning you're pissed.
Yeah, like you need to tell us, yeah.
Pissed.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Yeah, listen, head over to Martin's Mancunian Way. He's doing a show at 10:30. As always,
I'll be watching Match of the Day.
Well, I want to see Ian Wright. You bastard.
I bet he's not on, Paddy.
Oh, he's on. It's his last show. That's it. He's finishing up tonight.
Oh, even better.
He signs off in style. Listen, thank you very much, everybody, in the chat.
Hope
Especially
he's gracious in defeat.
Not Injun Bracket, who's joined me on the panel. Thank you as always, guys. And you know, Summer, it's always a pleasure. Never a chore. Have a great week, all. Champions.
Everybody.
Bye, folks.